Mm. All right, I think we can start. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cheyenne's Forum. Today is July 14th. Here's my dear friend Tom. Tom, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Very good. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, since last time we talked, it's been 2 weeks, and so many things happened within these 2 weeks. And the first thing first, Tom, President Trump has resumed the full-scale attack on Iran. So, what do you think about that? And do you think we're going to finish the job this time, meaning to bring down the Iran government right now?
My opinion, it's about time
Mhm.
that he got tired of playing around with them and their false promises and, oh, we're going to have a deal. And then they renege and change their mind. And I think the public is getting impatient. Either win the war, get it over with, shut down that regime,
Mhm.
or shut up. Do it out, do it, or
Mhm.
stop talking. And
Mhm.
I think maybe Trump has finally lost his patience enough to just say, okay, we're going to resume
Mhm.
and hit targets and hit them hard.
Mhm. Also, you mentioned that Trump may finally lost his patience on this war. So it is rely on his patient, his personal patient, or this is rely on the strategy need for our country.
Well, the strategy has been in place now for a while
Mhm.
to negotiate and try to get a deal and convince them to admit that they're not going to pursue having a nuclear weapon. And as soon as they agree to anything, and he agrees to agree,
Mhm.
and they call it off. They say, "Oh, we didn't mean that. We didn't say." And I think part of it is the lack of a stable government to deal with. So it
Mhm.
keeps looking like the IRGC is running the country,
Mhm.
and the mullahs and whoever's still alive is not, and the
Mhm.
parliament is not, and the foreign ministry is not. The IRGC is running it, and they're the ones launching the attacks for
Mhm.
months now with small boats and small missiles and uh, small military equipment. Since we've shot down all
Mhm.
of their big stuff, but they still have the little pesky annoyances of the drones that they're launching against shipping in the Gulf and in the Strait
Mhm.
and against the U.S. So I think that I don't know. I see some of the retired military advisors on television finally saying enough's enough. Enough's enough.
Mhm.
Finish the job. We haven't finished it. They still have all the ability to harass ships in the Gulf
Mhm.
or in the Strait, or to say that they're going to exact the toll and they're in charge. And I think the people are saying enough. We've heard
Mhm.
of that.
Right. Right. Yeah, we have other things regarding Iran, but before we continue, like I like to introduce Tom to my audience. Tom actually worked for FBI for 30 years, and he worked as assistant director of FBI for 5 years, and he's retired now. And welcome again, Tom, to our podcast. And also, I like to introduce a very important experience of Tom's career. Actually, he went to Middle East to work as a director there for some time. So he has the first-hand experience of this regime or this area. Very complicated and is something that we have to deal with. So right now we have a full desire to finish the job. And the second question is, some people just wonder, do we really have the capability to do so? What do you think, Tom?
I think we do have the physical capability. It's a question of, I think Trump has been reluctant to do severe damage to their country and their economy
Mhm.
because hoping that eventually the mullahs and the IRGC and these groups will not be in charge of the country, and
Mhm.
that the 90 million people will be under sensible leadership
Right.
without getting killed when they protest. And in the event that happens, Trump
Mhm.
wants to leave their economy some ability to rebound under
Mhm.
good leadership,
Mhm.
and to be able to have it make a comeback
Mhm.
and not have it wiped out and
Mhm.
totally poor. So I think that's part of what Trump is banking on, is that at some point sensible leaders will take over. But
Mhm.
so far I don't see any sign of that. And I
Mhm.
think that from my personal opinion, just like the mullahs, the only way to stop them from running the country and
Mhm.
running it into the ground, unfortunately, was to kill them, take them out. And I
Mhm.
think the IRGC is in that situation now. They
Mhm.
have to go. They have to be taken out.
Right.
And until we do that, we're going to be going back and forth and negotiating and not negotiating, and
Mhm.
having all these deals that get broken the next day.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think at some point Trump's going to say, okay, we've done the best we can do
Right.
to bring peace, and
Mhm.
they don't want it. And there's
Mhm.
nothing we can do to make them want it other
Mhm.
than to destroy their country, which he
Right.
doesn't want to do. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I think we'll go from there, and we'll see in the next couple of days, because this last week or two,
Mhm.
when the Iranians break the truce and break the ceasefire and all that,
Mhm.
Trump has been hitting them harder and harder.
Right.
So the damage that he's been doing to their economy and their
Mhm.
government is much more severe than it was initially, and still isn't enough. Doesn't seem like it's enough. So you may have to continue it until the current IRGC leadership is gone.
Right. So yeah, Tom, more and more people are realizing that we cannot have any deal with Iran, the current government. They will not follow, and they will never follow. And even though that I think everyone knows that Iran has no power to fight against our country, but they still do that. Why? They're
Because they have enough power. They have enough of the drones and the small boats and the missiles and underground and all of that they can keep dragging that stuff out from in the mountains that they're hiding them,
Mhm.
launch missiles, launch drones, and then go back into the mountain and hide. And I
Mhm.
think that we now have seen that, especially after the Epic Fury
Mhm.
attacks last year to take out their nuclear facility,
Mhm.
we have the capability to destroy those mountains and the
Mhm.
drones that are in them and the missiles that are in the small boats and all of that.
Mhm.
And at some point, he's just got to do it. Now, in the last week, we noticed that some of our attacks now have included
Mhm.
railroad facilities,
Right.
dock facilities, some of that. And I
Mhm.
think that at the minimum, that's what it's going to take. We have
Mhm.
we have to take out more and more of their infrastructure and
Right.
put an end to this.
Right. So does that mean that we're going to stay much, much longer in Iran's wall than are expected, or maybe after midterm?
I don't know. I think if we go ahead and launch and really take out their facilities, it'll end pretty quickly. But so far, we've not done. We've been playing around with them,
Mhm.
negotiating. They make promises. We agree. The next day, they break the promises.
Right.
And I think at some point, you just have to say, okay, we don't believe you anymore. We're not
Mhm.
going to believe you. We
Mhm.
just have to destroy you and deal with people that we can believe.
Mhm. Right. And one thing some people just worry about President Trump, we know that he's very kind person. He has a very soft heart. So when the Iran people or Iran government come to us again and said, you know what, let's stop here, let's talk, please, let's negotiate. We will follow the instruction, or we will do whatever we should do. Please give us another chance. Do you think he will actually then said, okay, let's just stop here. Let's talk again? Do you think he's going to do it again?
I don't know, because a number of retired military advisors are on various networks saying enough of these deals that they immediately break. So it's
Mm-hmm.
obvious the Iranian officials are just liars.
Mm-hmm. So don't trust them, even though they come here and saying very sincerely said that, you know what, we will do that this time. So just no talk,
Well,
cut
they,
off.
they say it very insincerely, I think.
Oh, really? So
Yeah, I
if
don't think they mean it. I don't think they want peace. I don't think they really want to make a deal with us. They just want to stall us so they
Mhm,
can replenish the missiles or drones in the mountain, some of their facilities, and make a comeback. And I
mhm,
think it's time to just put a stop to it. And
mhm,
unfortunately, we know that the 90 million people in their population are generally on our side. They don't
right.
want this regime, but they
Mhm,
don't have guns, they don't have weapons, their people are getting killed for
mhm,
protesting. So
mhm,
there's nothing they can do until we put an end to their regime. That's, I think.
mhm. Right. So there's another saying that Iran just by themselves they cannot attack us or they cannot have a serious war with us because we're much stronger than them. So Russia and China are behind them, support Iran to fight with us. Do you really agree with this opinion, or you think it's
I
a
don't
more?
know. That might be true that they're trying to sneak weapons into Iran and try to help them behind the scenes, and China also. But I think that I'm not sure that they're really serious about backing up Iran either
Mm-hmm.
against us. So I don't know. But I think it's time, in my opinion, to put an end to all of this back and forth
Right.
and phony deals that they make, and then they don't really mean to keep anything that they agree to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll see. We'll maybe another week or two, we can just have some final stage for Iran's government right now. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So another war is Russia and Ukraine. So what do you think about the situation right now with Ukraine or
I
Russia?
have to be honest, I'm really shocked at how well Ukraine is doing against Russia.
Yeah.
Uh, I thought that Russia a year or more ago was going to crush them, and that'd be
Right.
the end of it. And
Right.
instead, Ukraine, and obviously they were getting help from us and from other European countries.
Mm-hmm.
And, Ukraine has no business being part of NATO. And yet, when NATO has their big meeting, who's standing in front? But, the little big mouth Zelensky. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that that shocks me
Right.
that somehow Ukraine has got NATO and these other countries to back them up,
Uh-huh.
even after we backed them up so far during the Biden administration. So I think, I don't know. I think at some point, I don't know why Russia hasn't been more successful against them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right, right. Is that possible that Russia to Ukraine is just like we to Iran, that we did not just fully engage to try to crash them? Do you think it's the similar situation?
Could be, could be. It's hard to tell.
Right, right.
From
Yeah.
the outside, it's hard to look at it.
Hmm. And also remember, we talked about Ukraine war 2 years ago, and we're not happy that Biden administration support this war. And right now, at Trump administration, we still support Iran, Ukraine. So why is that?
I don't know. Don't understand it.
Yeah.
I think there again, enough's enough.
Right, right. And also talk about the Ukraine war. We have to talk about Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham. He passed away very suddenly. And right now, lots of people are talking about what really happened about him, meaning his death is not normal, looks like. How do you feel?
Well, I think that first of all, we have no evidence to the contrary. So right now, when they get back the toxicology and the rest of the reports
Mhm.
from his autopsy, then maybe we'll know more. But I think so far, it's really hard to tell that coincidentally he goes to the Ukraine and makes all kinds of promises and speeches, comes back, and within a couple of days dies.
Mhm.
And so I think to me, more investigation is warranted into exactly what happened.
Right, right. I just look at the news that FBI actually involved to his passed away, and he passed away I think Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, and FBI showed up at his house on Monday. The reporter said there are about 20 FBI and other authority people went to his house, so that means maybe something they need to examine or need to change. What do you what
Well,
do
I
you think?
think at the minimum, they have to investigate to rule out foul play. And so far, they haven't discovered any direct evidence
Hmm.
that somebody murdered him,
Hmm.
that it was anything else other than his own health and his own blood vessel in the heart gave
Right.
out or what. So I think that yeah, in that case, I was glad to see the FBI really
Hmm.
devote resources to try to get to the bottom of it. But
Hmm.
so far, we don't know if they've found anything. And toxicology reports, which are the blood and the body fluids, and that usually takes a couple of weeks anyway.
Oh.
Those are the kind of reports that's not foul play that it
Hmm.
takes so long. It's just the normal course of
Hmm.
these exams, these physical uh, tests. So we'll see.
Sure, sure. What do you think about Lindsey Graham? Um, the White House said this is a very, very big loss to our nation. So what do you think about him personally?
Well, I dealt with him a couple of times directly, and
Oh,
he was very he had a great personality. So when you dealt with him, he had a sense of humor. He was great to talk to, and for 10 years up until 2019, I was CNN's senior law enforcement
right.
analyst. So I was on the air on CNN
Mm-hmm.
probably 4 or 5 days a week for a
Mm-hmm.
long time.
Mm-hmm.
And many times, in the adjacent room to the studio, getting wired up, and the technicians are in there. And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes, Lindsey Graham was going to go on the air right after me or right before me. He's in there, so we're chatting in the room next to the studio,
Right.
and he was great to talk to. He was very smart, very personable, had a great sense of humor, and you've
Mm-hmm.
heard a lot of people talk about that now,
Mm-hmm.
the humor
Right.
that he had. So I think it's very interesting, and there's a lot of reason to be suspicious that he goes to the Ukraine and comes back and then dies a couple days later.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows, what he may have caught. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in my time in the FBI running international operations,
Mm-hmm.
I traveled all over the world, and I would go somewhere and be advised by the State Department, that country, for example, Nigeria. On one of my trips to Nigeria, I
Mm-hmm.
was warned that get a vaccine, get what you can do, be careful. Dengue fever, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of like malaria, is spreading all over the country. Be careful. And
Mm-hmm.
so, okay, yes, take whatever vaccines if they had any.
Mm-hmm.
And on one of my trips, I'm there. An agent from the U.S. Secret Service is not with me directly, but we just happened to simultaneously be in Nigeria doing separate cases, separate work. And, while I was there, he gets dengue fever, and
Oh.
they transfer him back immediately back to the U.S. for emergency medical care. And
Mm-hmm.
he died. Like
Oh,
2 days
no.
later, he died of it. So here's a guy that I'm with, and we're exposed to the same environment and all of that, the same mosquitoes,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and he gets dengue and he dies. So when I would be warned by State Department, okay, if you're going whatever country it might be, and they would warn you what the various risks are health-wise. We took it serious, and you just kind of hoped that you were lucky enough not to get one of those, tetanus or typhoid or dengue or malaria or any of those.
Uh-huh. Wow. Wow. So yeah, Lindsey Graham, do you think he's a Trump's ally, or he support Trump's policy agenda all the way?
I think usually he was on Trump's side, not every single time, but most of the time. So I
Yeah.
think that's why, because he had the experience in the Senate and all of that, the popularity in his home state,
Mhm.
uh, so I think Trump respected that and respected the power that he had
Mhm.
without, and Trump realized that he wasn't going to be able to just badmouth Lindsey Graham into doing what he wanted, that they
Mhm.
had to pretty much have an alliance.
Right. And right now, the governor of Kentucky actually nominee his sister on to become the senator. What do you think about this nominee?
I think
Is
it's a
that
good
normal?
choice. Lindsey Graham had supported his sister since she was 13 years old when their parents
Right,
died,
right.
and big supporter of her, big fan of hers. And I think that, he more or less realized that she would be a good person to follow up with many of the things that he was trying to do, his policies.
Hmm.
So I think that Trump agreed that out of all the current
Right,
placeholder candidates, they only need her until January. So
right,
so that
right.
was the idea, was to have her hold the place so that in the
Mm-hmm.
meantime, the Senate still has a Republican majority. Now
Right.
we'll see. You have a number of candidates coming out
Mm-hmm.
wanting to run in November, and we'll see what happens.
Right, right. So they raise another question. It's very interesting, though. We find that in the Congress, we see the husband is a congressman, and when husband passed away, wife become the congressman, and now the brother passed away, and the sister become the congressman. And you would also see that the father was a congressman, and when father passed away, the son become a congressman, and so on. So some people just wonder, is this like a business, family business, or this is like a official, elect official? So how this in play that even though for example, the sister has no public service experience, can she still hold the position as the brother hold?
Yeah, she can, and she will.
Uh-huh.
So, during the summer, usually Congress isn't extremely active anyway. And so there's not going to be a lot of controversial things come up.
Okay.
And she's pretty much, followed the same policies as Lindsey did. So I think
Mhm.
that she's a good choice from Lindsey Graham's standpoint, that she's
Right.
the most likely to support what he wanted uh,
Right.
in the meantime as a
Mhm.
caretaker. And
Mhm.
this way, luckily they have a Republican governor that went along with that.
Mm.
If they had a Democratic governor, he might have sabotaged that and put somebody anti-Trump in place or some other uh, problem, let's say.
Mhm.
So I think that for everybody concerned, it's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So talk about another senator, John Thune. Right now, we heard a lot of people just said remove him. He does not do anything to support the Safe American Act.
Yeah,
So do you think he's really he doesn't want to, or he just cannot? He just incapable. So what do you feel
I
about
don't
him?
know, but I think that his time as the leader is going to be short. And I think at some point,
Mhm.
they know that Lindsey Graham was going to support the Save America Act and be a strong proponent of it. We'll
Mhm.
see now if somebody else takes up that
Mhm.
cause.
Mhm. So we'll see. We'll see. It's only I think we have only about 5 weeks to pass that in order to effect the midterm. So time is running out. And also the senator is really busy this couple of weeks, and we see Mitch situation. So nobody knows the real thing right now. Nobody knows. Even though some people just came out and said that I had 20 minutes of phone conversation with him and he sounds great. Or they release a picture with Mitch and his wife, and people still don't buy it. What do you think
I
about
don't
this?
buy it either, but you don't know how to prove otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Here Mitch McConnell is his wife immediately goes to China.
Right,
Her father historically has run a big shipping company there
right,
and very supportive of the CCP.
right.
And Mitch McConnell went along with that. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good question. Is she still, supportive of them and all of that?
Mm-hmm.
She's worked for two presidents in the cabinet of,
Mm-hmm.
Bush and later Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about her either. And
Mm-hmm.
his marrying her resulted in him becoming very rich as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
The wealth from her father's shipping businesses with
Mm-hmm.
China of all
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So yeah, Mitch has been very weak in combating China
Mm-hmm.
based on his wife.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I remember when Mitch went to the hospital at 14th, a week later, John Thune just came out and said, you know what, I talked to him this morning for 20 minutes and he sounds pretty good. And we are talking about the business and the national security issues. And he's pretty good, pretty good. He'll be back but not soon, but he'll be back. It sounds like he's definitely at normal stage. And the other guy come out to say the same thing. I forgot his name, but he's a senator and he's a very, very good friend with Mitch. And then a CNN guy come out and say the same word, said, I personally talked to him for 20 minutes. And it seems like Mitch is really busy that day. And he talked to three people each 20 minutes. And then we're talking about 1 hour talking. So the governor just have a open letter, ask Mitch to prove that he is in good condition. Because if you can talk to three people for 20 minutes, it's okay for you to talk to people in live TV and just show that you're okay and no response.
Well, of
Uh,
course, that presumes that all three people were telling the truth. And
mhm.
we just went through 4 years of Biden where everybody, oh, he's great, he's in great shape, he's not mentally deficient.
Right.
And everybody in the world knew that Biden was deficient.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So now what's the story with Mitch? Who knows?
Right. So can we do anything, or the senator can do anything, or it cannot continue the situation like this?
Yeah, it could. At least between now and the election, it could.
That's very sad.
Yeah, it's real sad, but that's the truth.
Right. So we'll see. And then just like you mentioned, lots of people have more and more question regarding his wife. And she stayed in China, and Mitch went to hospital, and she told people that the situation is not that emergency. It's not that urgent that she needs to come back immediately. So now here, the husband is in the hospital for over maybe a month, and she don't know where she is.
Well, they knew she went to China, and her family business there has made them both very wealthy. And so why would she be in a hurry to come back immediately if depending on the health of her husband? And so I don't know.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I just feel so sorry if that's the case for Mitch, if that's the
I don't
case,
feel sorry for Mitch.
because he knows who he married
Yeah,
for.
he became a multimillionaire just marrying her. And all the ties to China that created, everybody that went to their wedding from the Chinese embassy and all of that, 15, 20 years ago. So
Mhm.
I have no sympathy with Mitch whatsoever.
Hmm. So that means he knows who he married to, and
Oh,
he knows
absolutely.
that.
That's why.
Hmm. Yeah, I understand that. Maybe some people, there are people just feel sorry for Mitch, and they thought that Mitch is kind of innocent. He doesn't know who he married to. Really.
Yeah, all he had to do was look at the wedding list when they got married
Uh-huh.
in New York. I think it's probably 20 years ago now. Who was
Yeah,
on the list?
yeah. Well, if the
Everybody from the Chinese embassy, their key officials, all of that.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So, no, you know,
This is scary me because right now I'm thinking if he knows who he's married to, and if his wife is already a asset of Chinese government, so that means the Chinese government actually controlled Mitch already for years. Is that a possible? Oh my gosh, is that possible? What do you think?
yeah, it's possible that they had some influence over him through her. So, yes.
We'll see. We'll see. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. Okay, we'll see. And thank you so much, Tom. And also, Secretary Marco Rubio, he actually gave a speech and he actually launching a plan to destroy the Criminal Court, threaten Americans' sovereignty. And he said there's no globalist judge has any authority over Americans. International law have no effect in the USA. He said, as we speak, the ICC, International Criminal Court, and its friends are warning a war against our country, not with bullets and missiles, but with statutes and compacts and to force so-called international law that we have nothing to do this international law. You are not governing us and tell us what to do. So I think some people just don't know what is the international criminal law and what their authority or their power is. So what can you just tell
It's not
people?
much. I dealt with them and with these issues 30 years ago when I was in the FBI in charge
Mhm,
of international operations. So the
mhm.
criminal court, is part of the UN and
What
is
in? Yeah.
highly ineffective, and it's been highly ineffective. So it's
Mhm,
mainly a propaganda tool of people that don't like the US,
mhm,
and it's been that way. So
mhm.
they've had no real authority ever.
Mm, mm, mm. So it's just like a showcase.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. So for the UN, do you think that we still need to stay in UN or we can just drop, just like we drop from WHO?
I think that, well, the WHO is under a lot of control from the CCP of China. So that's
Mm-hmm,
part of the problem. The UN is not quite in that mode, but yeah, for the most part, the UN, it's a debating society. We spend millions on it,
right.
housing it in New York and having security for the building and the facility and all of that. So no, most of the time it's helpful, and a good part of the time it's not. So so we
So
put up with it.
yeah, so that means theoretically we can just drop from them.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, right. Yeah. So so what do you think about the midterm? But closer to the midterm. Do you think we still can keep the majority in both Senate and the Congress?
I think so, because I can't understand how people can vote, so-called democratic, socialist, communist,
Mm-hmm.
how we can have any support for them, how they can get elected, how they can keep being elected. So, yeah, I think I think to me that's hard. It's hard to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, several years ago, Trump said the U.S. will never be communist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so far, yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
will.
Mm-hmm.
We're well on the path to being communist,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see how far that goes. I think
Mm-hmm.
right now, all of the promises that Mamdani has made in New York, he
Mm-hmm.
can't keep. And New
Mm-hmm.
York is in big trouble financially
Oh.
and politically.
Mm-hmm.
So are the others. So right now you have all of these Democrats running against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see where that goes. In Maine, for example, Plattner running against Susan Collins
Mm-hmm.
and saying he's gonna throw her out. And she's been in the Senate for how many years now.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the one that's gone? He's gone.
Yeah. Right.
So how's that going to go in November when somebody else is running against Susan Collins, who
Mm-hmm.
always manages to make a comeback
Mm-hmm.
every election?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of promises being made and broken by
Mm-hmm.
the Democratic Socialists, and
Mm-hmm.
there's more and more evidence against communism and
Mm-hmm.
how evil it is. So we'll see. We'll see as
Mm-hmm.
it gets closer to
Right.
the midterms.
Right, right. Yeah, so Tom, did you have a chance to listen to the speech that President Trump gave at Independence Day?
Yeah, yeah, I heard it.
What do you think about the speech? He said the communist is the biggest enemy to us.
Oh, he's
And
right. And many have said that for a long time that if the U.S. is going to be taken down, it's going to be internally.
mm-hmm,
Nobody's going to defeat us militarily.
yep.
Nobody really wants to.
Mm-hmm,
So Putin isn't going to go after us, or and China isn't going to go after us militarily.
mm-hmm,
And so I think that that's pretty clear
mm-hmm,
that the best way to bring down the US is to destroy its institutions from within, which has
mm-hmm.
been the Marxist playbook for, 100 and some years.
Right.
And I think that that's the idea. Now, how long that's going to last or if that's going to continue to be successful, we'll see.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah, right.
I
And
keep
also,
waiting. I keep waiting for people in our society to wake up and to understand that socialism has never worked anywhere. And
mm-hmm,
it resulted in millions of deaths, whether the
mm-hmm,
Soviet Union or in China or
mm-hmm,
Cuba or Venezuela or any of these other countries.
mm-hmm,
It's been a totally negative situation and
mm-hmm,
eventually fell apart.
mm-hmm,
Why would we vote for that here? Because we have so many stupid voters,
mm-hmm,
in our electorate that
mm-hmm.
say, "Oh, that's the answer, socialism." How
Right,
stupid can they be? They
right.
obviously don't know anything about history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you mentioned that part, Tom, I actually have an opportunity to talk to a few professors on the universities. They're not the top tier of university, but pretty good university. They're professors for their lifetime. So we're talking about the situation of our country, of the world, and then surprisingly, they are thinking that the problem is about the capitalism, not socialism. And they thought that globalism is equals to capitalism. I was so surprised why they thinking about that way. And actually, they think that socialism is the answer, or part of the communism is the answer to deal with the problem caused by the capitalism.
Well, that's great, except it's never worked anywhere in the world.
I
So
know.
there's no society where it's been successful. None. And so these professors, they start out as liberal college students.
Mm-hmm.
And then people used to think, and I can remember 10, 20 years ago, they'd say, well, that's okay because when they get out of college and they get jobs in the corporate world, they're going
Mm-hmm.
to wake up. They're going to learn that what they thought in college really isn't true and socialism isn't good and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then what happened is then they become college professors still
Mm-hmm.
believing that nonsense
Yeah.
and teaching it and promoting it to their students. So
Right.
that's where the problem is, that our educational system and our mass media system has promoted the idea that capitalism is deficient, even
Mhm.
though it's helped make the United States be the richest country in the world, the
Yeah.
most successful country in the world. And
Uh-huh.
nowhere has socialism come close. Not in
Right.
the Soviet Union, which later collapsed,
Right.
and not in Cuba, which is collapsing right
Right.
now, or in
Right.
Venezuela, who collapsed. So all of these very socialist, and even China's economy right now
Mhm.
is in a lot of trouble. And
Mhm.
you see these various videos of their real estate
Yeah.
market that's gone really bad,
Yeah.
uh, various provinces that are broke.
Mhm.
And so for a lot of it, that's why Trump is kind of not attacked China seriously, because they're kind of going downhill themselves.
Mhm. Mhm.
So they don't really need our help to go downhill.
Mhm. Right. Just like you always mention that our education has a big problem, huge problem. That's another
And the
proof.
only way to overcome that is with a really successful media, which we don't have. So you have really blind leading the blind, in
Mhm.
whether it's the college professors or these mass media, legacy media, some of the
Mhm.
other ones that are
Mhm.
contributing to this whole
Yeah.
the whole mess.
Yeah, right. Well, talk about the media. The CNN has been sold to another. What is his name? I forgot. And he's a big Trump supporter. And he admit that the CNN has a wrong direction and need to have a big change within the CNN. So maybe they will ask you to invite you to go back to do some report or to do some analyst for them.
Well, they've called me a couple times to comment on some story in the media, and the problem is the
Uh,
type of stories that they've called me on. They have 10 other people from law enforcement or retired from one agency or another, or from the military going on the air. And I would tell them, you don't need me. You have enough stupid people already commenting, and why add me to the list? So,
right. But it's on the current leadership. Right now, they are changing the whole thing
well,
gradually. Yeah. So we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. I believe it later. When I see it, I'll believe it.
Okay. Yeah. So what else do you think is really important for us to pay attention this couple of weeks, the past 2 weeks?
I think to keep watching the campaigns right now. This midterm election is extremely serious,
Mm-hmm.
and the rise of democratic socialists and communism and all of that
Mm-hmm.
is serious. And people need to wake up and understand a little more about history.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the mainly middle-aged white women and young voters of all, 20
Mm-hmm.
something. And they're the ones backing all of this. Oh, socialism is the answer. No, they don't know anything about history. They don't know anything
Mm-hmm.
about anything. And
Mm-hmm.
I look at that as, if we start listening to these people, we're really stupid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see who can make the best arguments between now and November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tom, thank you for mentioning that white mid-aged women, and some people call them the cancer of the society because they are a believer and supporter of the concept, at least, of the socialism or communism. Why? Why these people are so into it? This group of people.
I don't know. They just put a higher value on their own importance, which to me is not justified. So they have no reason to come up with these policies. There was an expression that people used to use. They're very proud of how they turned out. And and to me, they've turned out negative. They have
Mm-hmm.
an audience, they have people watching them on YouTube or other channels. And to me, for the most part, they have no experience to base it on. They don't know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So blind lead blind
Right.
once
And for
again.
now, the country is pretty blind. because of the legacy media being so worthless.
Right. Right. And also, you seem there is a trend which is the socialism and part of the Muslim society are combined together. They are the same thing. They're in common is they hate this country. They
Yeah,
hate American culture.
right.
Do you think that we have the similar situation happened uh, in the history?
Yeah, we've had it before. We've had attempts by Marxists, especially if you go back 100 years, 120 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
the um, the rise of Marxism in the US was actually the reason that at the time, the forerunner of the FBI was the Bureau of Investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1908, the Bureau of Investigation was formed with about 20 lawyers under the direction of J. Edgar Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that Marxism was being spread in the US, starting to take over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so eventually, the Bureau of Investigation was born to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it evolved in the 1920s and 30s when you had the gangster era
Mm-hmm.
of, some of the Machine Gun Kelly
Mm-hmm.
and Bonnie and Clyde and some of the violent, heavily armed criminals. The FBI was transformed, or the Bureau of Investigation was transformed into the Federal Bureau of Investigation. FBI agents were then armed and went through, armed training and all of that. And you had the gangster wars in the 30s,
Mm-hmm.
shootouts between the FBI and some of these gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, the FBI took on the responsibility to investigate criminal cases,
Mm-hmm.
violent criminal cases, as well as espionage and national security matters.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So the history seems like the history repeat itself.
Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how are you going to, if you don't study history, or if it's not being taught accurately, or if
Right.
the media is not reporting it accurately, then
Mm-hmm.
we just have a bunch of morons voting for
Mm-hmm.
policies they don't know, for people they don't know or understand,
Right.
and talking about socialism will be great, or this will
Mm-hmm.
be great, or that, and
Mm-hmm.
capitalism is the enemy. And you have
Mm-hmm.
to look at that and go, capitalism is the reason the United States is the richest, strongest country in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what's wrong with that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. So the media actually lost their duty, lost their dignity to do the right thing.
yeah,
So the good thing is right now everybody can be a media that we can have our own YouTube channel and we can just tell people that what we experienced. So this is a good thing right now in this society and it's happening. Yeah.
right, right.
Right. Well, yeah, before you go, Tom, I just like to ask a very quick question about the Air Force One. When President Trump come back from Turkey, he changed the plan from the newer one to the old one. And there are people is being subpoenaed or they're leaking the information. This New York Times reporters. Um, do you think it's really, really serious that some people try again to kill President Trump?
But they keep trying to kill him. So, the question there was, is the new Air Force One that was a present from Qatar,
Right.
uh, and they had to revamp it and remodel it and do a number of things. Um, was there a reason to believe that he was in danger on that plane, especially going to Turkey, especially going so close to Iran?
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't think any of us know yet, and I don't know if we'll ever know for
Mhm.
sure
Mhm.
if what the threat was on that airplane or from that airplane to his old Air Force One.
Mhm.
And then Trump makes the story up that, well, he wanted to show it off to the troops in England or something. Well,
Mhm.
that's why God made museums. They can look at it in a museum later. So I don't know. I don't know what the whole story is.
Mhm.
I don't know if I believe anybody telling the story. We'll
Mhm.
see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tom. It's been 2 weeks. I'm so glad that we finally have a chance to
Yeah, I know.
our
I know.
podcast, and so many important things happen. And for I think next week we're probably going to have more news. At least we will have a news on Iran. See how the Iran war goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
and see how
Hopefully,
we finish the job.
I hope. I hope
Yeah.
we do.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tom. I'll try to translate into Chinese pretty as soon as possible. Once again, thank you for your education in term that give us the history lessons about this country, about you experienced, which is so important for us to know and to understand.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me on.
sure. Thank you. I'll see you next week.
Okay. See you next